Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. The concept of a Coast Guard dates all the way back to early 1800s England, where special boats were employed to prevent smuggling. Nowadays, dozens of coastal and island nations employ specialized militaries to protect their borders and provide sea-based search and rescue services. Among the most impressive and well-equipped Coast Guards in the world belongs to the United States. The U.S. Coast Guard employs a number of different vehicles, including dozens of types of ships, airplanes, and helicopters. The latter is absolutely integral to the organization's ability to provide search and rescue services, and, in many cases, medical evacuations. For instance, a lot can happen aboard a ship, which is often hundreds of miles away from any safe port. In the case of a medical emergency, capsizing, or other problem, helicopters can be deployed to retrieve the injured or endangered parties and bring them to safety. More importantly, these helicopters carry trained personnel who can provide medical services throughout the flight. For instance, emergencies happen aboard cruise ships all the time. Still, these massive ships have limited facilities for dealing with more severe injuries or illnesses. When such an event occurs, they can place a call to the local Coast Guard, who can send a helicopter to evacuate the individual without even touching down on the ship's deck. Using a hoist and carriage system, the helicopter crew can bring the person up to the cable while hovering dozens of feet above the ship, out of harm's way. In just a few minutes, the helicopter crew and injured person can be on their way to the hospital at speeds nearly 10 times as fast as the average cruise ship. In an emergency, every second counts. This makes the Coast Guard integral to saving lives at sea. Over the years, this hover and hoist technique has proven very effective during air and sea rescue operations. From stretchers to cages, various devices can be implemented to bring injured people aboard the helicopter as quickly and efficiently as possible.
Basket is outside cabin, bring your basket inside.
Most importantly, these devices help keep the injured individuals still, something that is crucial when it comes to preventing further injury. In many cases, Coast Guard helicopter crews will send one or more of their own medical experts down to the ship's deck first. These individuals can then secure the injured person properly before using the same hoist mechanism to return back to the helicopter. The U.S. Coast Guard operates all over the United States shoreline, including the frigid and icy waters of Alaska. In Indeed, Alaska's proximity to the Arctic makes it important for shipping and scientific exploration. But since the waters are so hazardous, the Coast Guard needed to develop a special type of cutter, one that could operate in the thick ice, but was also well-equipped enough for a wide range of operations. This led to the development and commissioning of the USCHC Healy. The Healy is a specialized icebreaker vessel and the United States Coast Guard's largest ship. In fact, in 2015, the Healy became the first unaccompanied U.S. vessel to reach the North Pole, something it's done again since. The ship is 420 feet long and 82 feet wide, with a specially reinforced hull and uniquely shaped bow, which allow it to ram through the ice as thick as 4.5 feet. When moving in reverse, it can penetrate ice more than twice that thick. And while it is more than prepared to take on rough Arctic conditions, the ship's mission largely focuses on science. For instance, the Healy uses both diesel and electric power to maximize efficiency and reduce costs, something that is rare for vessels operating in such a harsh environment. Its 136-person crew is also largely comprised of researchers rather than medical or combat teams. The ship has a total of 5 laboratories, 2 Eurocopter HH-65 Dolphin helicopters, and several auxiliary vessels. This doesn't mean that the Healy is never called upon to participate in more traditional Coast Guard missions. For instance, in July 2014, the Healy participated in the rescue of a Canadian man piloting a 36-foot sailboat from Vancouver to eastern Canada. Since that area was wholly unprepared to rescue the man, the Healy set about locating him and even towed his boat back to civilization using its heavy-duty crane. Though they're often overlooked by casual boaters and fishermen, few incidents at sea can be more deadly or destructive than a boat fire. No matter the size of the ship, the fact that so much fuel and flammable material is on board can quickly cause fires to spread out of control.
Is unbearable. We're throwing the
And with no way to get the water around the boat onto the flames, injuries or death from smoke inhalation can become a very real threat in a matter of minutes. The Coast Guard knows this, as do those naval commanders who spend hundreds of hours a year preparing their crews to deal with shipboard blazes. In every single case, the most important thing when dealing with a fire aboard a ship is acting as quickly as possible. Even with access to helicopters, it's nearly impossible for the Coast Guard to arrive at the scene of a boat fire fast enough to save the ship. This is especially true if the vessel is a small fishing boat or pleasure craft. In such cases, the Coast Guard hopes that passengers will follow safety protocol and leave the ship before they are overcome by smoke inhalation. Whether they do so by utilizing life preservers or a lifeboat, it's important that they get away from the burning vessel as soon as possible. This allows the helicopter to spot the crew conveniently and pull them out of the water without endangering themselves. The smoke from the burning boat is often enough to signal that a crew is in danger, bringing nearby patrol vessels to aid. The same process works for larger vessels like this 60-foot boat. Providing the crew has the wherewithal to get off the ship after calling for help, helicopters and boats will be able to arrive at the scene of the fire and perform a rescue. In cases where the crew escapes the vessel but does not have their own life raft, a responding helicopter can deploy its own. These passengers were attempting to keep themselves afloat in rough water by holding onto the front mooring line of the boat. As the fire spread very quickly, this proved to be a very dangerous idea. Fortunately, an HC-144 Ocean Sentry airplane spotted the endangered crew member and deployed a life raft, allowing them to get out of the water and further away from the ship. There are certain situations in which the Coast Guard will need to go aboard a vessel in order to fight the fire. Such situations are extremely challenging and thus require adequate training to reduce the chances of injury. For this reason, various Coast Guard stations hold frequent drills to ensure their teams are ready to deal with any situation they might encounter at sea. These drills are more than just physical tests. It's not uncommon for them to be asked questions during the exercise regarding what they might do if they encounter a specific problem or challenge. From the top down, the focus of the Coast Guard is always to maximize safety and bring everyone back home. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.